Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is still repeating history as we've now just confirmed another daily candle close below this line of support and now confirming a break below these previous lows on the price chart, which is not good on the daily time frame. But in the immediate short term, we're still actively playing out this short-term bullish divergence. So yes, I'm still currently in my Bitcoin trading strategy, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, now currently bouncing from this important area of support in the short term, while the price of Solana has just now confirmed a new signal in the short term that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. But on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for, which is already confirmed, recently reconfirmed with a new higher high in the price and a lower high in the weekly Bitcoin RSI, which basically means we're losing bullish momentum and likely going to see at best a larger sideways consolidation, quite possibly a larger pullback within the next 1 to 2 months is a very likely scenario now. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin price chart, the price of Bitcoin is potentially still repeating history, showing very similar price action right now to what we saw near the beginning of this year. And now, obviously, just because we saw this outcome last time, it doesn't guarantee we're going to see the exact same thing this time around. But even if we see something somewhat similar, this suggests potentially a bit more of a pullback within the next couple of weeks or so, or maybe within the next month, that sort of time frame. Expect potentially more bearish than bullish price action. So of course, we can see short-term little bullish moves here and there, bounces. It's not going to be a straight line towards the downside, but overall, in terms of, once again, the next few weeks, maybe the next month, that sort of time frame, expect things to look relatively weak for Bitcoin. And that's also the case, especially while we're below this line of support, which we've now confirmed 2 daily candle closes below this important ascending line of support, which was sitting at roughly 109k, give or take, 109 to 110,000. And first of all, the previous daily candle close that we saw over a day ago now was around 108,000, and the latest daily candle close as of recording this video confirmed at just above 106,000, around 106,500. And so this means that the price of Bitcoin has not only confirmed the break below this important line of support, but we've also confirmed a daily candle close below both of these previous lows. For this previous range for the price of Bitcoin, we've now clearly broken below not just this ascending line of support, but the horizontal support for that range. It's now been broken. And once again, the last time we saw something similar to what we're seeing right now was around second half of February, near the end of February this year. And obviously what came next over the next few weeks or so was a larger pullback in the price. So overall, in terms of the price structure, once again, for the next couple of weeks or so, technically not looking too good here. So if we see a continued pullback within the next few weeks or so, do not be surprised. And for the bulls out there, the only hope in order to avoid potentially much larger pullback is if we can really quickly, as in ideally within the next couple of days, get back above this line on the price chart at roughly 110,000. If we can do that very quickly, it's possible this is just a fake out to the downside and we avoid that pullback. But once again, at the current stage where we're at right now, it's extremely likely we're going to be looking relatively weak, showing a bit more bearish price action than bullish price action in the next few weeks or possibly months. But as always, understand the difference between the different timeframes, because even though that might be the case over a period of weeks or maybe a month or so, of course, in the short term, from time to time, we can see short-term bullish price action, especially bouncing from points of support or playing out bullish divergences. And right now, of course, we're playing out this short-term bullish divergence that I talked about over the last couple of days. And just over the last 1 day, we've seen a slight bullish relief, which is a very common outcome from a bullish divergence. As always, a bullish divergence is not necessarily a bullish reversal signal. So just because we have this bullish divergence technically actively playing out, we are not guaranteed to see a massive bullish reversal based on this alone. And so what is much more likely is obviously what I said over the last 1 to 2 days, which is just a slight bullish relief, maybe even a bit of choppy sideways price action, essentially a bit of a break or a relief from all of the bearish price action, but once again, just in the short term for most likely a period of just days. And so considering this is technically still active, we've not confirmed an invalidation signal, it is possible this could continue to play out in the coming hours, maybe over the next 1 day or so, but I'll not necessarily rely on this bullish divergence over a period of weeks. Once again, if we're talking about a period of weeks or over the next month, overall, I'm still more bearish than bullish for the price of Bitcoin. It's just in the immediate short term for the next day or so, we could continue a little bit of a relief here. And so over the last 1 day, of course, my trading strategy has not changed. If you watched my last video, you would already know my trading strategy, but giving you a quick update, of course, I'm still currently in my Bitcoin futures grid bot trading strategy. And in case you're new to all of this and you have no idea what I said, it's very simple. Essentially, there's a range for the price of Bitcoin that I have set here in between $70,000 to $130,000. And then there's a bunch of grids, which are basically just orders. So buy or sell orders placed within that price range. And so you can see on this price chart right here over on my Pinex account, you can see it more clearly displayed. Once again, a bunch of buy orders, all of these green lines right here, buy orders to the downside, and a bunch of sell orders towards the upside. And so in other words, if the price of Bitcoin potentially continues a larger pullback into this entire range right here, if we bounce anywhere in this range, ideally 70,000 or above, if we bounce anywhere, whether it's right now or at 80,000, 90,000, anywhere in this range, if we see a decent bounce, then ultimately this trading strategy will make a bunch of money. And in case you're wondering, my current liquidation price for this trade right here is sitting at around $43,000 per Bitcoin. So yes, the price of Bitcoin literally has to crash all the way down towards 43,000 without seeing any sort of decent bounce or recovery in between in order for me to lose on this trade. So obviously that's very unlikely. As always, there's no such thing as a guarantee. So obviously there is that risk, but just keep in mind, this is a relatively safe trade. As always, not financial advice. And already with this slight little bullish relief, it is securing a small amount of profits. As you can see right here, the grid profits are basically secured profits. That's hitting these buy orders and sell orders. That secures the grid profits here. And then this trend P&L is essentially unrealized profits that ultimately can get realized once the price actually triggers these buy and sell orders. And the best thing about this trading strategy is that it's fully automated. All I had to do in order to set this up was just to set up the range, set up the amount that I wanted to put into it, and then ultimately just let it run. And it automatically places the buy and sell orders for me and replenishes those orders as well. So when one order gets hit, it places another order on the price chart. And yes, in case you're wondering, you can actually copy this trading strategy with the click of a single button. I'll leave a link below the video. In fact, the second link below the video will take you to this page right here where you can click literally just one button to copy this trading strategy if you want to. As always, not financial advice. I'm just showing what I'm currently doing, but basically to save you the trouble of going through all of these steps right here, you can literally just click this copy button if you want to copy this trading strategy, if it's a strategy that suits your trading ideas as well. But unfortunately, you cannot copy this trading bot if you don't have a Pinex account that's not using my link. So all you need to do is simply just make a Pinex account using the link below the video in order to actually copy this trading bot right here. And if you use the first link below the video, it'll take you to this sign up page where you can also claim massive bonuses just by making an account, making deposits. For example, if you make an account, complete KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus. And on top of that, there's also deposit bonuses. If you deposit as little as $100, you get a 100 USDT bonus. If you deposit up to 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus into your Pinex account. Basically, a bunch of free money from the exchange just by simply making deposits using the link below the video to actually make your Pinex account. And so once again, if you want to copy this strategy and also claim a bunch of bonuses here, check it out. First link below the video to this page, second link below the video to this page where you can copy my current trading strategy for the price of Bitcoin. But if you're more of a manual trader, manually placing long positions or short positions, if you're not so much into these grid bots right here, then there's also Tubits as another exchange out there that I also use for that sort of thing. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to Tubits below the video. It'll be the third link below the video. It'll take you to this page right here where you can also claim massive bonuses. For example, up to 10,000 USDT in trial fund bonuses and 8,000 USDT in actual withdrawable stablecoins just by making an account, making deposit and trading crypto using that link below the video to 2bit. And on top of that, without making any deposits or any trades, you can get a free $30 sign up bonus and 1 month free VIP 3 upgrade. So basically very cheap trading fees and free money from the exchange just by simply making an account using that link below the video to 2bit. So once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, definitely check it out. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and right now we don't really have a lot of liquidity that is immediately close to the price of Bitcoin. The next major level of liquidity to watch out for is at approximately 116,000 and slightly above 116,000. And so obviously between the current price and that major area of liquidity up here, of course, we have this major level on the price chart, previous support, which will likely act as a new resistance. So if we see a continued bounce in the short term, expect a lot of resistance really in between around 108,000 to 110,000. And so those are my expectations for the price of Bitcoin in the short term and also the mid to longer term, and my exact trading strategy explained clearly here on the channel. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart here on the daily time frame, of course, right now we're still technically playing out the bullish divergence that I talked about all the way back down here. You can even check my videos around a month ago talking about this bullish divergence, saying how it's very likely we're going to see a bit of a bullish relief in the Bitcoin dominance. And right now that is still playing out. So continue to expect a bit more of a bullish relief in the coming days or possibly weeks for the Bitcoin dominance, which means at least while this is happening in that sort of time frame here, expect a lot of the altcoin market on average to be underperforming Bitcoin, so doing a bit worse than whatever Bitcoin is doing. But if the Bitcoin dominance ultimately makes its way back up towards this area of resistance, let's just say in a week or two from now, in that situation, of course, we have a lot of resistance in between 60.5% to 61% in the Bitcoin dominance, which means if we ultimately get there again, it's possible we could start to struggle around that area on the price chart, possibly even see another rejection. So obviously in the short term, a lot of altcoins likely going to be underperforming Bitcoin. But once again, if the Bitcoin dominance ultimately gets back up there, we might see a short-term little relief in the altcoin market where some altcoins might temporarily outperform Bitcoin again as the Bitcoin dominance runs into that resistance. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, right now the price of ETH, at least as of recording the video, is still trading slightly below this important area of support here in between around 3.9k to 4.1k, but technically we've not yet confirmed a candle close on the 3-day time frame below that area. But the next 3-day candle close confirms in roughly around 7 hours as of recording this video, but it's basically exactly midnight UTC is when we see this candle close. So obviously if the price is still below 3.9k in just a matter of hours from now, it's possible we could officially see one confirmation signal confirming the break below this very important area of support. And in that situation, that obviously is not good news for Ethereum on the larger time frames, not just the short-term moves. And so if we actually properly confirm the break towards the downside with a 3-day candle close below 3.9k, and especially if we fail to get back above that area in the coming days, in the coming weeks, and especially if we flip it into new resistance, in that situation, it's extremely likely that in the next few weeks, in the next 1 or 2 months, that sort of time frame, expect a larger pullback, at least down towards around 3,500, possibly much lower. And so once again, for the bulls out there, we need to very quickly reclaim this area of support, ideally in the coming hours, but especially in the coming days. Even if we confirm a candle close slightly below this area, if we can then quickly break out back above around 4,000, 4.1k in the coming days, it's possible we could avoid a further pullback. But right now, obviously things not looking too good. And if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum price chart, technically speaking, we still have an active bullish divergence, which is not yet confirmed an invalidation signal. And so overall, just in the next few days or so, in the somewhat shorter term here, expect a little bit more of a relief from all of the bearish price action. So that can be either some choppy sideways price action like this, or maybe a slight bullish relief, but don't necessarily expect a massive bullish recovery towards the highs, for example, at least based on this reason alone. And if we're zooming further into the short term, taking a look at the 8-hour Ethereum price chart, we've just now pretty much perfectly, at least based on the candle closes, bounced from this area of support in the short term, sitting in between around 37.20 to 37.60. So expect a lot of support, at least in the short term, around that level. And we also have a possible double bottom or W pattern forming, but that would only really confirm and set up a bullish price target if we actually break out above this area of resistance in between around 42.50 to 42.80. And so obviously that's still a significant area of resistance on the price chart to pay attention to. And even before we could reach that area, we also have a bit more resistance that we should be expecting at roughly 40.60 to 4.1k if the price can actually get back up there. But as I always say, expect somewhat similar price action for Ethereum and really a lot of the major altcoins as to what Bitcoin is doing. So if Bitcoin, for example, plays out, let's just say a bit of a sideways consolidation, still a slight little relief from this bullish divergence, but not necessarily a lot of bullish momentum, and especially if the Bitcoin dominance is looking slightly bullish, overall altcoins will likely play out similar price action, maybe even slightly worse than what Bitcoin is doing, which suggests maybe a bit of choppy sideways price action as a likely scenario for Ethereum and a lot of altcoins in the short term. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the 2-day time frame, obviously the price is now officially confirmed a 2-day candle close, again back below this important area right here in between around 190 to 200. So overall, the larger price structure still not looking too good, technically forming lower highs and lower lows, breaking below important areas on the price chart. And so I'll now expect resistance in between 190 to 200 if the price ultimately tests that area again. And as for support, expect a lot of support in between around 170 to 175, give or take, as an area of support. And if we break below 170 in that situation, we have a bit more support at around 158 and in between 143 to 146. And as for other levels to watch out for in the short term, I would expect more resistance at around $209, give or take, and a lot of resistance as well at around 218 to 219. And here in this 8-hour Solana price chart, we technically have just confirmed a new bullish divergence, but this is not a typical bullish divergence where we have a lower low in the price. We actually have pretty much perfectly horizontal lows in the price if we're looking at the candle closes on the 8-hour Solana price chart. Meanwhile, we're seeing higher lows in the RSI while we're seeing horizontal lows in the price. And so this is still a form of a bullish divergence to pay attention to, but it's a much weaker form of a bullish divergence compared to a typical bullish divergence where we have an actual confirmed lower low in the price while forming higher lows in the RSI. And so basically what this tells us is that just in the short term, we could play out a bit of choppy sideways price action, basically a bit of a break from all of that extreme bearish price action, once again, just in the short term for a period of hours or possibly days, but don't necessarily expect a massive high momentum movement towards the upside, towards these highs, for example, based on this reason alone. And so overall, those are my expectations in the short term for Solana and the key levels to watch out for. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, technically we still have this massive bearish divergence, which has not yet been invalidated, which means it's still ultimately playing out and influencing the price of XRP, as I've been saying pretty much every day for months now on the channel, since almost all-time highs onwards. I've been warning about this larger bearish divergence since basically the end of July. You can even check my videos that I posted it back then. And so once again, not much has changed over the last one day on the weekly XRP price chart. And if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart, what has just happened over the last one day is we've now officially confirmed a daily candle close below this area of support, which was sitting in between around $2.33 to $2.40, and the latest daily candle close confirmed at roughly around $2.29. And so obviously this is not great to see for the price of XRP, and currently we're finding a bit of resistance in this area. We're now retesting this area in between roughly 230 to 240, and so far, at least as I recorded in the video, failing to break out back above that area. But if the price of XRP actually confirms at least a daily candle close, ideally back above $2.40, and if we actually continue to hold that area again as support, in that situation we have a possible bullish divergence forming on the daily time frame, which would also be visible on slightly smaller time frames, with lower lows already confirmed in the price in the candle closes and higher lows currently just forming but not confirmed in the daily XRP RSI. And so once again, in order for this to actually confirm and start to play out, ideally we need to see a candle close on the daily time frame in the price back above around $2.40. In that situation, we can be more confident in a bit more of a bullish relief, possibly even back up towards roughly $2.60 as a major point of resistance, around $2.60 to $2.70. But once again, I want to make it clear, of course, we've not yet confirmed a breakout back above $2.40, which means for now we could be finding resistance in that area in between $2.30 to $2.40. And for now, while we're still underneath $2.40, we've not yet confirmed this bullish divergence. And so if, for example, the price fails to get back above that area and we continue to find resistance in this area and ultimately reject from that area, in that situation, the next major target towards the downside, major point of support to watch out for, is at just above $2, around $2.05 as the next major target towards the downside if we do not very soon get back above around $2.40. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Chainlink, it's a very similar situation for Chainlink as what I just said for XRP. Obviously still in a bearish trend, forming lower highs and lower lows just like XRP on the daily time frame. But of course, during this bearish trend along the way towards the downside, we can see short-term bullish price action here and there, but don't be fooled if we see a short-term bounce. Technically, we're still within bearish price structure. And also, just like XRP on the daily time frame, Chainlink is currently forming but not confirmed a possible bullish divergence on the daily Chainlink price chart, with lower lows already now confirmed in the price in the candle closes, but higher lows just currently forming but not confirmed in the daily Chainlink RSI. And so we need to basically see some sort of little bounce like this actually confirm in place, with a couple of candle closes confirming it in place in the RSI in order to actually confirm the higher low to confirm the bullish divergence. And so for now, that's just something to watch out for in case it confirms in the coming days. But overall, once again, still just currently forming. And as for support and resistance to watch out for, we have a lot of support in between around 1520 to 1570. And based on this latest bounce right here, we pretty much perfectly bounced from almost exactly $15.70. So for now, that's the area of support to watch out for. And if we confirm a break below that area with a candle close below that area, in that situation, the next major target towards the downside would be sitting at roughly $13.30 to $13.40. And as for resistance to watch out for, if we see another slight little bounce here, expect a lot of resistance at roughly around $17.20 to $17.50, and major resistance in between $19.50 to $20 if the price were to actually get back up there. But once again, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below the video to these exchanges if you want to claim the massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And also, if you want to copy my personal trading strategy, once again, second link below the video to this copy page right here. And if you want to actually know how you can take these trades for yourself, no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.